Hello, Discord members. Welcome to today's analysis, Tuesday, September 16th. So, big news tomorrow. Of course, we have FOMC interest rate decision. Everyone is expecting a cut. So, 2 to 3 p.m., that hour from the announcement, and then 2:30 when Powell starts speaking, should be very volatile going into the closing for tomorrow's session. Also, I am officially now using the December 2025 contracts, and you can see on the corner ESC25. Okay, now if you're still in the September, I would recommend you move over into December because the volumes are now officially bigger in the December contract. And as you're going to notice, all the levels we have already shifted. So this is the weekly chart. This is the daily. So the levels themselves, they look very similar, all the touches, but you can see the values are different, okay? If I bring up TradingView, just to quickly go over why this happens. Right now, I am in the December contract, okay? And if you look at the December contract, the all-time high that we made on Tuesday here was 6696.75. If I go into the September contract, right there, you can see the all-time high was 66.39. Okay, so you can see there's about a $57 difference. So basically all the levels that we had on the September contract have now shifted up about 57 points, okay? So that's why we need to adjust all the levels now. And also remember, I always like to have the back adjusted option on, okay? If we don't put this adjustment option, if I go into a daily chart, and right now I'm in the continuous contract, okay? ES1 exclamation. This is pretty much the continuous contract, which is going to roll over automatically. But if I take off the back adjustment and I go to settings, events, contract switch. So you can see right here, on the contract switches, if I don't have the adjustment on, look at the gap that we get between the September and the December contract. But if I back adjust it, this gap is closed, okay? Same thing on these other ones right here. You can see when we moved from the June to the September as well. Look at how this looked right over here. And then if I back adjust it, then it changes where the two contracts join, okay? So I always like to use the back adjustment setting. So let's go now back into Sierra chart. And so daily, you can see on Tuesday we left a pretty bearish pin bar candle here with the all-time high that we left and then a rejection towards the end. We are still holding the swing high from this candle from Friday at 66.62. So this is still support into this area. If we break from here, then we're looking again at the trend line and then eventually to fill in this fair value gap into this next swing level from this daily spike down into 66.22. 4 hour. So you can see we're now establishing a very significant high volume node here, okay? All eyes are going to be on this low volume node area, and then if we break below that, we're going into this next area, the top edge of this node below. Then we have our trend line, and then below that, we're looking at the 66.43 hourly level, which was strong support on Friday and Monday. Let's go into the hourly actually, so we can see this a lot more clearer. So here, this is what I'm talking about. High volume node, high volume node. So big area of support now. If we start breaking or pushing up, this is the first area we're looking at. Right into this over-under at the top edge of this high volume node. So this is where I would expect some rejection and heavier resistance. If we break below here, then we're looking at the top edge area of this node into this broken resistance, now retesting it from up top. Then we have the trend line, which is right in line around the point of control here of this node below. And then beyond this, then we have 66.43, which is the bottom edge area. Lots of aggressive selling near all these lows right over here. Okay, so pretty much right now, this is the key area now. This low volume node zone 66.62 is now our key level to see if we maintain price into this range, into this node, and we can bounce up, break out, and then go to the upper edge. Or if we break down, then we're looking for possibly coming, either rejecting off of the top edge here or accepting inside and going into the bottom edge of support. And if we have a very bearish day and we just start breaking all these levels to the downside, then we're looking at 66.22, which again is that other this high here, the spike we had from last Wednesday into the fair value gap from the low of Friday. So basically this whole area right here is one large fair value gap, and you can see an impulsive move. So we will be looking at a fill into the 66.20s if 66.43 fails to hold. If we go into the hourly with weekly profiles, you can see, right now we're pretty much coming right down to this support area here. And then below that, this is the main node that we are looking at. The top edge right here, point of control right there, and the bottom edge right there. And if we push up again, we're looking to get back into this previous highs here, right around 66.80. TPO, market profile first. So here we have, poor highs at the all-time high that we talked about. Overnight, we're already setting a poor high on the overnight session, which this might get corrected pretty soon. And then below this, we have the poor lows right here, right around the 66.43 hourly level. Tick charts, you can see we're still getting some pretty, small, relatively smaller tick session ranges, but starting probably tomorrow, we're going to get now a fully developed profile as, not profile, a fully extended day with a lot more candles on our 3000 tick chart, because we're now going to have a lot more volumes trading in this contract now. So today, you can see overnight, we had the strong push up, broke above the highs from Monday, got to our all-time high, and then right at the open, we lost the low volume node support from the extended hours, and then we came right back down pretty much into the bottom areas of the of yesterday's regular trading hours, into the 66-62 level over on their pattern here, and we had the nice breakout, but eventually we just ended up chopping and forming a big high volume node here, and you can see we're already open overnight, went to the top edge area, and now we've moved all the way now into the bottom edge area. Okay, so overall, overnight, we are trading within the range of this session high volume node, but in the major context, this is the big high volume node we're looking at. So I expect heavier support if we push lower into here, and if we can break out, this is the upside level that I'm looking for. And if we actually zoom out, you can see here this impulsive move as well, and we have this gap area right over here. Weekly chart on NASDAQ and the daily. So again, we made a new all-time high as well on NASDAQ, 24,647. We are now in the December contract as well. So all the NASDAQ levels have also shifted to the upside. Our first immediate target down now would be 24,400.50, which would be the last spike here from Friday's candle. So this is the next major daily support, and below that 24,287. 4-hour chart. So very clear here, you know, we have this gap here, and you can see we have our high volume node, then very low volumes here, and then our next node right down there. And you can see the same thing on the weekly, very small volumes, and then we pick up a little bit on this consolidation. So looking at this on the hourly, I'm now looking at this range right here between the low volume node resistance and the support. So first target up, coming up into the 24,556 hourly level, and the 560s low volume node resistance at the top of the node. Below, we are holding 24,502, has been a very significant support on late Monday and Tuesday as well at the lows. So first immediate target here. If we push down further, then I want to see support into the 24,470s. If we lose this level, then we're going right into, again, the broken resistance here. Fill in this impulsive move into this swing level. And if we get inside of this, then flip this to resistance, and we're coming down into the next hourly support, which is the lows from the week and from Monday, 24,333. weekly profiles. So again, this is the main range, like I said, that we are dealing with at the moment, okay? And if we lose this low, then very clear area to target down below over here. Upside coming up to the top edge here of the high volume node. TPO, don't really have any poor high lows or singles. But overall, you can see here this profile here. So overall, we're sitting at a pretty important area of support. If we lose this, then we're looking at the bottom edge here from this TPO profile. And then if we lose that, we have a very thin move here going down into the levels that we talked about there. Tick chart. Overnight, like yes, we just had a very impulsive move to the upside. And you can see the high, we made it right around 4:47 a.m. So right when Europe was in full swing, the London session. And then at the open, we started with a pretty much straight move down. And we got all the way down. We actually didn't test the naked point of control here. So this is still a level we are watching. But you can see that on the 5-minute, if I zoom in, we have the big high volume node session from Tuesday, RTH. And we are now bouncing right around the bottom edge here. If we do push down, this is still areas of support, naked point of control. If we can break out, again, two areas we're looking at. First, the hourly level, and then the top edge of our weekly high volume node that we have over here. So, big news event day tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Again, make sure you're all rolled over into the December contracts, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow and see what happened after FOMC. Take care.